Well, it wasn't pretty. It wasn't pretty at all. In true Newcastle style, we got over the line. You can tell me, man, that I might still not be coming over to the Blackburn match, folks. Going to Newcastle fans, to lose a favour and make sure you stick around. Welcome back to Black White Banter, you lovely Newcastle fans. And maybe, just maybe, you might have to tell your mums that you might not be home for tea. They might have to stick it in the oven, whatever you're having. Unless you're like me and you've got some sandwiches in your bag, then even better. But yes, it is the cup. We are still in the cup, which I am absolutely delighted about, if I'm being totally honest with you. And the less said about last Saturday, the better. You know, I haven't even had time to process what I witnessed down in London. I've barely been back from London, 24 hours, straight back to work. Haven't had a chance to do a last word video, and it just wasn't very good, was it? It was probably up there with one of the worst performances we've seen under Mr. Eddie Howe. And I tell you what, if ever sometimes there's a good hangover cure, and that performance was a pretty awful night out, it's a match 3 days later. And a match that we should win. Now, normally with these sorts of games, I would say a result is the most important thing. And yes, it is. Being in the draw for the next round is the most important thing. One step closer to Wembley. But I genuinely believe, and I wouldn't normally say this, after a performance like Saturday, the performance tonight is just as important. We don't want to be scraping through against Blackburn. We want to win the football match first and foremost, and that'll be what I'm still prioritising. But I would like to see a much more disciplined performance in defence, much more organised and a much more controlled performance in both ends of the pitch. And I'm confident, I am, you have to be. Blackburn have got some threats. Mr. Smodjic, that's probably the worst pronunciation of that name. He's got 18 goals in the league and 5 goals in the FA Cup already. They've got a couple of threats. You know what you're getting from a place like this. They will be up for it more than the Standard League game. I think there's going to be a protest. I've got my tennis racket. Going to be whacking the tennis balls off the pitch if those protests I've been reading about are right. But we are taking 7,000 Geordies down on a Tuesday night. I'm just about to hop on the supporters bus, and we are going to a cheeky little bar in the afternoon that I believe has a bit of a dance floor, bit of a rave. So Newcastle fans, if you're new around here and you're joining us on this match vlog, do us a little favour, whack that little likey Lou, get Black and White Banter across all social media, and I will see you once I get on that supporters bus. Away, Eddie Howe's Wembley bound, hopefully Wembley bound Mags. Come in! From flights to London to pissy buses to Blackburn. Quite a contrast in 3 days. Right then, we've just touched down in Preston, so we've moved a little bit further away from Blackburn, but that's because 300 Newcastle fans, obviously myself included, has just touched down outside this lovely place that you can just see behind us called Roper, because we are taking over a nightclub from 2 o'clock in the afternoon all the way through to the match start. And I tell you what, there's been some serious sickies been pulled for work if 300 fans can get a random Tuesday off to go on the piss in a nightclub. We've even got, and fair play to Mr. Paul who runs our supporters buses, we've even got a stamp which I'll show you now. Just there, a Tune Away Days stamp. He's even gone through that little extra touch. I appreciate the little touches of a stamp to make sure that everyone remembers when they wake up in the morning with the sore heads that we were part of the Tune Away Days. It's absolutely bouncing in there, so let's get amongst it. Away Eddie Howe's Tuesday night nightclub Mags. Joining the club by my half-time St James's Park at Douglas, actually. Yeah. We always have a good night. We always do, yeah. Right, I've pulled him away from the women on the dance floor. Predictions tonight. I've gone 4-0 Longstaff for scored any time. Oh. Where do you get back on that? once you get back on that. Well, why not? I'll get to Wembley. Yeah, I'm going to have a cheap one in the semi-final. Save the money for the final. Sounds like you're already thinking about the final. Oh, like this. Shout out to my grandson Jackson! Jackson! Right, we're on the bus, just heading over, just left the nightclub. Ollie wants to score going to be tonight?
Blackburn are going to score none. 2-0.
That's what I like to hear. 2-0.
Just 2-0 Newcastle.
Are we getting to Wembley?
Yeah.
Semis and final, or just...
we're going to get the semi-final and we're going to... Yeah, I'm too big for this fight. Ring again.
How many bees? You've already bought me 1 year ago. How many bees have you had on this?
7.
7. There you
Seven's
go.
a good number. I'm more than 7.
Right, we're outside on the terraces, and I've finally been joined by, well, the one, the only, a Connor! Right, Con, we found a lovely little back seat. I'll do a full circle view.
It's like being in the back seat of the cinema with you, isn't it? Fancy kissing the colour.
I'll turn back round. Right, so tonight I said I would have been happy just with getting through the next round normally. But after Saturday, I think the performance is important as well.
Oh, good God, when you think that first 45 minutes on Saturday was nothing short of diabolical, and I'll dare say that, and I don't slag them off.
It was.
Second half steadied the ship. We deserved to get beat. There was no two ways about it. They were the stronger team. The back four were just horrendous, but I even think our keeper played well, considering. But tonight, this is a proper bounce back game, this back game. So,
are you fancying us?
No, massively. Hugely. I'm going to just say the win, Matthew, right? Because I'll tell you my stupid scores, because I'll put us down for a big one tonight. Right.
I like the team. The team's good.
I know.
Willockson, Isaacson, Gordon, yeah, good team.
It is a really good team. I feel sorry for Miley. He's been dropped onto the bench, hasn't he? What, if it's coming?
Yeah, no, he's played more football than he's planned, right?
A young kid, yeah, absolutely.
I'll try and get some shout-outs there in the corporate area. The prawn sandwiches.
That's all the bellheads in the corporate. We don't even know who they are, do we?
Not a clue.
What's your
right. Match has been delayed, but we're about ready. Are we ready? Come on! Extra time. We weren't really that great in that match, to be totally honest with you. 1-0 up great, but we didn't really test that goalkeeper at all. I would probably say a draw was probably a fair result. Well, the Cold Dogs find a reason to be happy, and he's celebrating. Newcastle just doing a classic Newcastle and taking this match to extra time.
It's not just the extra time though, is it, Matthew? It's the fact that we just haven't even come out the stores. We've just let them...
Worrying performance, definitely worrying performance so far, but hey, we've probably got a little bit more in our legs with the subs we brought on than what they do. Let's see.
You might have played better on there than me.
I think that's a given. It's gone to penalties, of course it's gone to penalties. I'm not happy about it at all. Not good enough.
You're not happy about it.
I really hope we can get over the line here, but that performance was not good enough. Let's see what we can do on the penalties. This is the worst thing as a football fan in the whole world, is penalties. Come on, boys.
I don't get nervous, but I'm starting to get a bit shaky, you know what I mean? I'm a little bit weak.
well, we threw. And that is all that matters. And I said at the start of this video that, look, with these matches, getting through to the next round is the most important thing. We've done that, but what I did say going into this one is that the performance was quite important after Saturday's, pardon the French, shit show, and it was. I've just landed back in Newcastle. I've had time to take it in. Look, we did get through, and that was the main thing. And in true Newcastle style, we were put through the absolute ringer. That was the most Newcastle Cup tie ever. But we came out with smelling of roses, which was, we couldn't say that against Chelsea earlier in the season. I was expecting the same all over again, especially when Barnes missed his penalty. But we've got over the line. But with every Newcastle performance more recently, you just feel like there are more questions. There are more questions being asked after matches than answers given. And I feel like that was another one tonight. Playing against a team struggling in the Championship. We knew they were going to come out and give us a game. We did. We knew what players were going to be quite threatening for them as well. Samodzic, who I mentioned, I've definitely pronounced his name wrong. He ended up scoring. His goal record for the season is ridiculous. They were up for it. They had quite a larger crowd than what I expected, to be totally honest, especially with the tennis ball protests that we'd heard about. I just think we looked a little bit disjointed. We really, really did. Yes, we missed chances tonight. I'm not denying that at all. We should have probably put the game to bed. If you look at the chance that Barnes missed, Longstaff missed one, Bruno missed one. There was chances there to put the game to bed earlier than the match going to penalties, but just not quite at the races. And I really, really did expect a reaction. So I've come away absolutely over the moon that Newcastle are in the quarter-finals. That's great. One game away from Wembley, Newcastle fans. One game away. We are in the cup draw. Sorry, these lights just keep going on and off. That's great. That is amazing. We just need a really generous cup draw.
It was at this moment he knew. He fucked up.
24 hours later.
Dubravka, we have to talk about him. He did make a really big save in the first half. He did make some important saves going into extra time as well. And of course, in the shootout, it's all on goalkeepers, and he was our hero. And I say hats off to him. I'm not for Dubravka, obviously, over Nick Pope. I never have been that. I'll keep saying that. I think Nick Pope, since he's come out of the team, the numbers speak for themselves. But Dubravka is a good shot stopper. He's a very good shot stopper. And in the penalty shootout today, he proved that, as well as some of his saves in the game. And if you look, he actually had the list of the penalty takers and where they go written on his Lucasade bottle, if anyone's seen them photos. Whether that's helped him, whether those were right, I would have to match those across the I's and dot the T's. I'm probably getting that wrong because it's that late in the morning. But he was one of our standout performers tonight. You don't want to be saying your goalkeeper against the Championship team is one of the standout performers. That's one thing. Another thing I will add to that. Lascelles came back in the team. I thought Lascelles was pretty steady. Fabian Schär was as solid as Fabian Schär's been. I thought this was the game for Dan Burn. Dan Burn obviously is a big talking point for Newcastle fans at the moment. This was a gritty match where Dan Burn probably went about his business pretty solid. Well, Joe Willock was back, which was great to see. You can tell Joe Willock is not fit, but he did get more minutes in his legs. I think he only had 29 touches in that game. But I tell you what, I love the chant being back on the stands. He's fucking magic. Have I mentioned I love that chant? That was good to see. We just never saw much of him, but he has had some more minutes out there. I thought Jacob Murphy never got as involved in the match as what I would have liked. Bruno was really good tonight. You could tell he was a man who wasn't worried about a yellow card. That's what we are missing in Premier League matches, and I think he just needs to address the fact that he will eventually get a yellow card and he's not going to avoid it, because I do think we're lacking a little bit from Bruno because of that worry, and Eddie Howe's even played him a little bit higher. Onto the front three, Isak, starves of service again. I keep having this debate with myself in my head whether Isak is not only suited to being a striker but suited to the system we play, because there's so many matches when he looks so isolated. He looks like he could do with a partner up top with him, and he switched with Gordon at one point and he obviously got taken off. He didn't really have a chance against this Championship side tonight. And then Anthony Gordon, our player of the season by a country mile. The boy just doesn't stop. Took his goal nice, couldn't really miss, I guess, from there, but it was lovely to see him get on the score sheet again. And he's just Here, he's there, he never stops. Grafton, he's absolute bollocks off. He was probably up there for man of the match for me. I know Dubravka's going to get the plaudits, which rightly so, penalty shootout and whatnot. But same again from Gordon. And the substitutes, Eddie Howe now has a bench. And that leads me on to a point that's a little bit worrying. He brought Miley on, he brought Barnes on, he brought Almiron on, who I thought had a good game by Almiron's standards, to be totally honest with you. But Eddie Howe is now running out of those reasons why performances are looking a little bit flat, because it's not fixture congestion anymore. I've said that on my last video. Now he has options where Barnes, a £35 million man, is coming on. Almiron, everyone's got different opinions on him, but he's a good squad player to bring on. And then you've got Miley, who we now know can play in midfield. Elliot Anderson's now back in the mix. It wasn't the performance I expected. He made the substitute. We did get over the line. We did miss chances tonight. People are saying Blackburn maybe's pipped it on social media. I'm not buying that. I think we had the better chances tonight. We controlled most of the ball. I just think we were looking a little bit lacking in ideas. Not as defensively worried tonight. Blackburn had a couple of moments, but you'd expect any team in the FA Cup at this stage of the competition to have a couple of moments. It was never going to be plain sailing. That's deluded if you think it's going to be plain sailing, but not the performance any of us were hoping for. And of course, we got the dreaded penalty shootout. We got through the dreaded penalty shootout, and let's just see who we get in the next round. Wolves is a really, really difficult game after just playing 120 minutes. And I tell you what, we need to improve performance if we are going to get anything against that Wolves team that we know has probably gone a little bit under the Premier League radar this season. Great day down today, raving around in that nightclub. That was absolutely class. Anyone who's never done an away day, just take it from me, if you've watched this video, it's more than just the football. It's 300 people on a Tuesday afternoon going to a nightclub in the middle of Preston, filling it out and having a great old time. I'm lucky enough to know some absolutely lovely people that I've met through football matches, and that's what it's all about. There was a result to match tonight. We are in the next round, and you can still maybe tell your mum to put your tea just in the oven, because you might be going to Wembley. And just as the lights have gone out on this video, I'm going to get myself to bed, because it's currently about 3:30 in the morning and I've got work tomorrow. Keep the faith, Newcastle fans. The performance wasn't quite what we wanted, but we are in the hat for the next round. Tell me, Mama.